Tate,
Tate, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Going good, man.
Tate, welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome, man. So, sorry it took us a couple minutes. I forgot to send her your number. I forgot. That was my bad.
That happens on cannabis shows.
Wait real quick and I'll remember. Remember what?
Exactly.
So I'm sitting here waiting for her to call you, and she's like, "Well, I thought he was calling in." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Well, we usually have people that remember things for us, but when the person they didn't remember, then no, actually he was supposed to.
That was my bad.
He was supposed to remind you to send the number.
So yeah, Tate, I was just just so you know, we got my co-host J Rock's on the line with us. I was just informing him of our past history, where we met at basically. And I don't know if you remember, but you came into my old store, my previous store that I had, Butler Hydroponics, and you brought your Key to Life nutrients to the table to try to get into our market. And then I had the AZ podcast at the time, and you came on my show with you and Darren and a couple other guys. So, it's I think that was about 3.5-4 years ago almost. You remember?
How could I forget, Jeremy? How could I forget, man? It was a great time, and that was a whirlwind of a trip coming down there to AZ.
Yeah, I remember you guys were like
into you
guys were consulting or something up at a Copper State Farm, I believe, at the time. You guys were
I was doing a little product evaluation for Copper State and whatnot, and getting them on a bunch of the products, which they're still using, actually.
Sweet.
Still to this day.
Hell yeah.
3.5 years
That's
later.
what it's about.
That shows that your products are working, right?
Oh, we would like to think so. People use them for 3.5-4 years for sure.
Well, I'll have to be honest with you, Tate. I mean, I still use a few of your products as well. The Silver Bullet is one of my go-tos, and I turned people onto that for so many years now. The Silver Bullet is the shit.
Dude, it is a really good product, and it was a really good way for us to get our name out into the market and kind of expand the markets that we were servicing.
Yep.
Something that's really awesome is since we've continued to drop a couple game changer products. I don't know if you've had a chance to check out Green 9 or Cal Nomag yet, but they're absolute game changers.
I haven't seen the green one, but the other one, yes, I have. And, when we first met, that was way before you started, really jumping into the hemp scene real heavy like you are. How many products did you originally start out with?
Oh, I originally started the nutrient line out of my garage in 2006. And I actually just started with a compost tea brewer. And after getting that out in the market and letting some people try compost teas and the benefit of beneficial microorganisms, we dropped a couple of our first nutrients. I probably started with 2 or 3 nutrients. What was really funny, Jeremy, I think I told you this the first time we met, is I was actually putting them all in Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
And putting all the instructions with Sharpie marker on the Ziploc bag. And we literally started the company by selling 2 or 3 people nutrients. And what a lot of people don't know is we have no investors.
Awesome.
We have no backing. I'm the 100% owner of the company.
That's awesome.
I've never taken investment. I've just grown this thing as a young, naive entrepreneur from the garage.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
And I watch you on Instagram. I've known you for years, but I don't know you like as a best friend or anything like that. But what I know is that you are grinding, bro, and you're working hard to be able to make a name for your business and for yourself. And that's one thing that really, inspired me too when we first met is how hard you were working to push your products. And it wasn't just you were trying to make money, you had the knowledge behind it. And I think that's important, when you really believe in your own products, you have to know your products and use them. And I see you doing both.
Really, it was just a quest of passion for us. I switched from super synthetic, growing to 100% organic. My yields went up. My pest and disease problems went down. My quality skyrocketed. My cannabinoid and THC content and terpene content skyrocketed. And I just actually kind of felt that it was my responsibility to let people know about this style of gardening And most importantly, I got with a girl that I kind of saw a future with. We now have kids, and today, bless his heart, my son is turned 6 today.
Happy birthday!
So,
happy.
His name is
birthday.
Tegan, right?
Yeah, he's Tegan.
Happy birthday, Tegan!
And, thanks, man. We really appreciate that. We had an absolutely amazing day today.
Awesome.
And really, that's why I continued grinding on the Key to Life 100% organic mission the way that we did, because I saw myself having kids someday. And I didn't want to be a typical fertilizer company that, poisons the land and puts a bunch of salt and not good chemicals down into not only the land, but the wastewater supply, the natural water supply.
And in our bodies.
And in our bodies and the atmosphere and animals' bodies. All these different things. I just wasn't into it. And so continuing to chase the organic mission specifically for a better future, we've chosen to and stuck with throughout this whole time, not producing, ammonium nitrate, monoammonium phosphate based fertilizers, which is 99% of the synthetic game out there. And we're just blessed to be here where we are, man. Chasing our dreams based on our heart and soul.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to point out too, and I want you to highlight even more. I mean, you guys' dry product, these are dry nutrients, and they are organic, right?
Correct. And actually this year, we just got our first opportunity to have the finances to proceed with some certified organic
I saw that
products.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Out of California, right?
Yeah, so we're doing the CCOF. And the reason that we went with CCOF is because it was the first in the game. They were the very first standard of organic certification, especially for fertilizers. They've been around the longest. They have one of the best reputations for not being a pay-to-play organization, like a lot of the other organic certification bodies.
Omri.
And
oh,
yeah. But at the end of the day, I've got a lot of respect even for the companies like Omri and all the other ones out there. Sure. But as a small company, it behooved me financially as well as my growers to get that certification, because all it did was add a stamp or a label to my products and made them more expensive, but it didn't actually change the ingredient. Well, now at this point in the company's age, maturity, and history, we were able to achieve organic certification without it influencing our product costs. Sweet. Because of our economies of scale during manufacturing in-house.
Well, that's awesome, man. And I'm glad to know, I've learned some things already, something that I didn't know about you, that you guys are, fully integrated, company on your own, not with any investors or anything like that. And I think that's something super high, important to highlight, that you did work, and you started out of your garage. Many people are at home right now, and I think that's the biggest thing the message that we want to get across here is, people are at home and they're getting bored, and they're actually just turning to technology to occupy their time, when they could actually do something and make a business right out of your home, right?
1,000%, Jeremy. And what I would say to all the listeners is, if you've got a really good idea, chase it. Everybody called me crazy when I first started this whole thing. I would go to trade shows and nobody knew what compost tea, True Living Organics was. And to see the paradigm and mentality and consciousness shift that's happened since I started the company in 2006, basically, as its precursor roots, to where we're at now, is a gigantic change in understanding of organic and everything about it. So it's really, really beautiful to be here where we're at. I feel that I've had an opportunity to influence the game. Even if some people didn't come to me for business, they understood, the bigger lesson of what we were trying to get across. So going back to your listeners, if you guys have got a crazy, awesome idea, my first thing is look at it. Does it benefit you and your family today, tomorrow, and in the future? But most importantly, is it something that you ethically and morally believe in? If it checks all those boxes, chase it, ignore everybody that tries to give you any hate, and know that you're doing the right thing for yourself.
That's good advice, man.
I
think you're right on the
You're
on the right
absolutely
page.
right on that, you know.
And I think, one other thing, that I forgot to just point out here a minute ago is when you were talking about your son and his birthday and your family, and that's what made you really focus on, you knew you were going to you wanted kids in your future. And, a big thing here on the Stoned Age podcast is that we're family men, you know what I mean? We try to, promote that as much as possible.
And my son's here with me right now.
That's right. So. And, my daughter can be here when she's not at gym, and, we always incorporate them with our lives. Cannabis should not deter you from hanging out with your kids and doing things with your kids. They can be part of your life as well. My daughter's been highly educated in cannabis and been part of my life, her whole life actually. And, she's watched me grow and help people with cannabis. And, I think it's, it's super important to teach your kids what cannabis really is and not what they hear on the streets or teachers tell them or whatever the hell.
What Dare tells you, you know what I mean? I mean, it's been looked at like evil, but it's been, alcohol's praised,
right?
So let me praise alcohol, but let me, you're a bad person if you use cannabis. Right. Like, no, that makes no sense.
So, that's one thing, I'm glad you pointed out, and I wanted you to highlight that you were spending time with your son today on his birthday. I didn't mean to bug you if I did at all. I tried to give you your space because once you told me that, I was like, no, I don't want to, you told me you could be on the show, and that was all I needed to hear, man. So, I appreciate you taking the time out, to be able to come on with us, and educate our listeners and us as well, just on who you are and what you're doing. And I think, you've done so much in the industry that people need to know who you are and what Key to Life really is. And it goes way beyond the nutrients. And I think that's one thing that, I really love the nutrients because I'm a grower, and I like to highlight good products out there and, recommend to other growers. Key to Life is an organic dry nutrient. And I want you to understand why you should just do it just in a money factor alone. If you go to the grow store, any store, and you buy a bottle of nutrients, that's a liquid nutrient, you're paying for water, right, Tate?
1,000%. And Jeremy, the joke used to get real bad because I would tell people, why are you buying raw nutrients that are put into water, then shipped from Holland to America across water to put back into your water supply for your plants? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It never did.
Not
flavored water. It's flavored water, right?
And people would go crazy over that, right? And then here comes Tate years ago, and he's got this dry nutrient.
Powder, it's concentrated.
And people are like, real timid about dry at the moment. Years ago, they're like,
but
I don't know what you're talking
you make
about.
Kool-Aid, you make...
Because they think it's going to be harder.
I make lemonade, I make all sorts of stuff with powder, and it's bomb.
You think it's going to be harder, right? I mean, Tate, it's a lot easier to use dry nutrients. Am I wrong?
I think it's way easier.
Oh, my... Bro, at the end of the day, I won't even use liquids anymore. The diversity in the manner that you can apply powdered nutrients is so much diverse. It's so much easier. It's so much more calculated. It's so much more cost effective. It's so much more potent. I mean, if you start checking all those boxes, why would you ever use a liquid,
That's right.
And it was one of the biggest.
So it's like 20 times more expensive, right?
Legitimately.
But like no, I mean, I'm being sarcastic. Like, I mean, is the powder...
on his, no.
Yeah, it's cheaper, right?
I thought you meant
in the long run.
20 times more. So here's a really good example. Like, there's a lot of common fulvic acid in the market. I'm not going to drop any names because I got a lot of respect for all the companies out there doing hard work to promote organics. But look at something like fulvic acid. There's a fulvic acid product out there that a lot of people use. It's liquid. It is 8% to 11%, depending on the year and the batch that you're getting it from. That 8 to 11% fulvic acid not only has 120 plus ppms of arsenic, which is a really bad heavy metal, but it also costs 25 to 50 cents per gallon to run at retail cost in a hydroponic system or even a drain to waste system. they recommend to use it at 15 to 30 mLs per gram. Well, ours is half gram to 1 gram, 97% fulvic versus 8 to 11, and it costs 1.5 to 3 cents per gallon to run in drain to waste or hydroponics.
Yep.
So
3 cents a gallon.
3 cents a gallon compared to 25 to 50.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
So that right there makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sense.
Yeah, it makes
If it makes
it
dollars,
costs sense.
it makes sense, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Someone always told me, you watch your pennies, the dollars watch themselves. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, that's
1,000%.
You know, and
My mentors have told me, and these people, some of them are worth a lot of money and have impacted a lot of different industries. And they've told me, Tate, chase the nickels, dimes, quarters, and dollars because they add up faster than the $100 bill.
Yep, exactly.
It's true.
Same concept, exactly.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, people are just thinking they want to get rich quick. No, you got to freaking start small, right? And you got to add those freaking dollars up.
You just keep going after all the small cents, and they all add up quick. Like not even quick. You know what I mean? It's just you have to have a plan and a vision, and like you said, you got to believe in yourself.
That's right.
If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to get very far. You got to if you check all those boxes, then you got to go. You know what I mean? That's and don't get discouraged.
And what's funny? And I'm sure you guys have seen it doing what you're doing, is you got to believe in yourself until somebody tells you you're going to fail. Then you got to question yourself. Then you got to believe in yourself even more. And that cycle will continue and continue the more successful you get. So, it's been a huge blessing. Like, Jeremy, you brought up our transition into the hemp industry. And not only did products like our fulvic acid or our key to uptake really help us to launch into that paradigm, but also just our understanding of growing and just really being there for our growers. A lot of companies.
That's what I saw you doing is you were out at the farm, like hands on, and that's what people need to see.
That's so huge because it's a big company, and sometimes they grow so big. It's all about the dollar.
Yeah, you never see the owner of the company.
You don't see it. You know what I mean? Like you don't see like Farmer John.
No, you see Tate's
I see
out
a
there.
sausage, but I don't see Farmer John. You know what I mean? Where's Farmer John? You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing.
And I think that's what helped you.
So
that
big,
quality control is you being involved so heavily.
Customer service, man.
1,000%, and it was, like a reflection of that is 2019. We had a revenue growth of over 250% in 1 year.
Wow.
With a minimized marketing budget.
Holy shit, man. That's
So
awesome.
we went less money on marketing, and we just went more Tate in the team, hands-on in the field. And also it was a good year before the pandemic and things like that. But we had a positive 250% net revenue increase in 1 year.
Wow.
And
that's huge.
What was huge. Like I achieved some of my wildest dreams in 2019. And we were very blessed.
And that's what, that's why I wanted to get the nutrients out of the way so we can talk about more of what, that blossomed into, because, man, have you really taken it to the next level with the whole, hemp seed, the biomass, separation, all that kind of stuff. So get into the hemp genetics that you guys are doing a little bit.
It is my new passion is really being able to synergize genetics chemotypically with fertilizers and biologies. So at the end of the day, we're really blessed. We've been able to get a processing facility up here in Hudson, Colorado, right outside of Denver. And we've got our hemp separator there. I don't know if you guys have seen the incredible bulk hemp separator,
I have, but can you explain it to the listeners out there in J-Rock because they haven't seen it yet? And this thing is fucking awesome, but go ahead.
For sure, brother. I appreciate it. But it was a 13 different prototype mission over 3.5 years, basically since I met you, Jeremy, and you introduced me to your beautiful family as well. Props on that, by the way, brother. I just wanted to say you got a beautiful family as well. and that's what it's all about. And I really appreciate the last dinner that we got to do in AZ as well. So I just want to throw that out there.
Sweet, thank you.
But yeah, so over the last 3.5 years, 13 prototypes, I took a machine that was 3 foot by 3 foot and 4 foot tall, and then put it into the next version into a 27-foot box truck, did a couple versions there, then went to a 40-foot flatbed trailer that was exposed, did a couple more versions there, then went to a 50-foot semi-trailer, did a couple more versions there, and we're finally on our 13th prototype.
Wow.
And we ended up just marrying the semi-truck to a 40,000 square foot warehouse.
Yeah.
And so this facility is a full, in one facility, we can, and I'm pretty sure we're one of the only ones in the country. We can go from dry, we can dry your material, we can separate your material, we can extract your material up to 20,000 pounds per day, we can distill your material, we can isolate your material, we can remediate your material, we can make your material water soluble through nano-emulsification and nano-spray drying, and we can even go into further minor cannabinoid extraction before that step as well.
All from that facility?
All in one facility under one roof. If you want to come check it out, brother.
Really? Is this open?
Invite.
It's open?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I would love to go down there and check this out, and, we'll make that happen someday.
Yeah.
But
what part of Colorado?
Yeah. Hudson, right?
So this is Denver/Hudson area.
Okay.
It's Hudson's only 30 minutes outside of Denver, so basically Denver.
So basically, the video that I saw, if you guys want to see this, anybody out there listening, you can go to Key to Life Supply or Key to Life Hemp. Is that where it's on Hemp? The Hemp page?
Key to Life Supply.
Okay, so there I saw a couple videos come in videos on the page where they had huge semi trucks pull in with all the hemp material, like just plants, basically, plant material. And just come in and like a one huge load, just dump this huge load of biomass, and then with their machine, they're able to separate it, like you said. And explain to listeners, why would you need to separate it, Tate?
So when you're doing mechanical harvesting on acres and acres and acres, 10 to 100 acres, unfortunately, going out and chopping each plant at the base and hanging it upside down, basically lose money.
It's not
realistic. It's not realistic, unfortunately. So we use this thing called the stripper header, and it goes onto a tractor, and it's about 24
scissors,
and then they have a bigger model that's 30 feet wide, and they strip the buds off the skeleton of the plant and leave the skeleton structure of the plant in the ground.
Really? So it's like just a bunch of little twigs.
Just stems,
Twigs. It's really funny looking. It's like a cannabis graveyard. They're all standing up still, but there's no buds really left on them.
So
maybe like 1 or 2%.
Is this process when you're doing that, when you're taking or debudding, we'll call it, is it when the plants are fresh or when they're dry?
So this is actually in the field while the plants are 100% alive.
Okay.
And so we basically
you just drive over them.
Yeah, we buck them alive.
Yep.
Yeah, you just go.
And then they come in to a grain cart after the stripper header. Then they go to an 18-wheel truck that's a side dump. That 18-wheel truck drives to our facility, and that's actually a huge thing right there, Jeremy, is that ticking time bomb period from the point that you harvest to the point that you are fully dry with stable material. I'm sure you've seen it in cannabis a bunch of times.
Mold and all sorts of stuff can happen, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you look at that on like a 10-light or a 100-light room, but then you go to 10 acres or 100 acres, and it's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So we've got this really awesome product that I don't know how much I want to say because it's kind of
you can drop it on us. No, I'm just kidding. No, we understand.
Yeah, it's all good.
But we've got a product that's stops the oxidation and the aging of harvested cannabis and hemp.
Wow, really?
And what's really cool about that is it takes that ticking time bomb from about for every 1 hour that your material is harvested and down from the plant, it actually increases temperature by 100% every hour, maybe every 2 hours, depending on where you're at. So if you've got 4 hours of your product sitting in a semi-truck going to the drying facility, it can drastically degrade it.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So we've got a huge solution for that. Anybody who wants to holler at us on that, we've got a whole beta test program. We're looking to prove this in the industry. We've already gotten multiple proving cases. Hit us up. We got something to talk about.
Dope. Well, go ahead. I'll wait to ask you this question
sorry,
afterwards.
brother.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask you something, but go ahead.
Cool. But yeah, so basically then it goes from that semi-truck, it comes to our facility, we dump it out at the facility. We're actually in the process of building a dump stage that prevents some other aging type of stuff. And then it goes into the dryer. Once it comes out of the dryer, it goes into our separator. And the separator separates seed, stem, keef, and shake-style biomass. So basically, what we
down
do
to those
is
that small of a to the keef and everything.
To the keef and everything, we
Wow.
literally pull off 55-gallon drums of keef every 20, 30 minutes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
It is really awesome. And so then we take that and we actually blend the keef back into the shake. So that way our extractable biomass has the most cannabinoid material in it possible. But the average case study that we've seen, Jeremy, is a minimization of about 30% of the material. So 30% of your total biomass is seed, stick, and stem and junk that doesn't work for the extractors. So we pull off that 30%. Basically, that 30% is realized profit or realized yield for not only the farmer, but also the extractor. So you're making 30% more money by investing a small amount of money into purifying your biomass.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so when I first started this, Jeremy, I was actually just more or less focused on being a breeder and getting really clean seed out of my plants that was really clean, really dense, and really high quality seed.
Viable.
Well,
right?
Super viable. And after 5 generations of that machine, we kind of realized what we were stumbling upon. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. We have invented a new step in processing for large-scale hemp.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Like
That's
I said, man, you're
doing
a game
big
changer.
thing. Yeah, that's huge. We can't wait to come and tour this facility and just experience. I mean, she's showing us some videos of these plants. I mean, and these fields. I mean,
That's Tate right there.
It's unbelievable. It's beautiful.
No, I mean, name, how big of what's the biggest acreage on a hemp farm that you've been on, Tate?
Oh, my Lord. Hundreds of acres. As far as the eye could see in every direction.
So that's basically like millions of plants, you'd say?
Millions of plants.
That's awesome.
That I was able to supply the plants, the supplies, and the harvesting.
And see, that's one thing that you guys offer that I people need to know about as well. Not just the seeds. You guys do your seedlings as well that are already sprouted and ready to just put in the ground and go, right?
You can buy either just the seed, or you can buy a seedling start, or you can buy a clone.
Our mother.
Or you can buy a teen, or you can buy a mom, or you can buy whatever you want.
Yeah, you can buy 10, you can buy 20, you can
buy 1 million of them. Why
not?
He's like,
or in 2019, you can buy 31 million of them.
That's awesome,
That's
bro.
unbelievable. That is
so how many different
awesome.
how many different genetics of hemp are you working with right now, seed wise, that you can offer to the market?
This year, we're working with about 10.
Okay.
We actually minimized it a good amount.
Is the cherry wine still in or was it the cherry blossom or cherry wine? One of those two. I can't remember exactly.
Cherry blossom.
There we go.
Still available. My personal favorite right now is our Meritage.
Meritage. All right.
It's like this red wine smelling cherry, berry, cherry blossom.
Wow. How high of a
like
percentage of CBD is that one?
I mean, if you're looking at average, like you take the whole plant and chop it up, stem, stalk, leaves, bud, you're going to hit that 12% normal average. But if you're putting it into a greenhouse and you're feeding it Keto Life and giving it good lighting and good environmental and babying at the end and hang drying it, we've seen people hit 28, 30%.
Wow. So basically, if you're saying treat it like, your normal bud, you'll get those results basically. And that's what, I like to, I'm glad you mentioned that because, to highlight that, that a hemp plant, is just a piece of crap plant that's out in the field. No, that's not true. You know what I mean? There's industrial farming and then there's, indoor cultivation that you can, like you were just saying, Tate, you can make, a lot better by controlling all the factors. So you can have some elite, hemp genetics
is pretty
as well.
incredible, right? You can make everything with hemp.
Well, like he was saying, I mean, you're making, how many different products can a hemp plant make, Tate?
They claim 50,000 plus.
Wow.
So, I mean, just in extracts, we've got CBD, CBDA, CBG, CBGA, CBC, CBCA, CBN, CBNA, like all those combined, full spectrum, water soluble, non-water soluble. So, I mean, like we're bringing 100 products to the game just in the high quality extract realm.
Just from hemp, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yep. And what was really awesome for me when I first really fell in love with hemp about 6 years ago is it looked identical to indoor, high quality, high terpene, beautiful, crystally cannabis.
Oh yeah, we had some here. I mean, on a couple shows ago, and I was blown away. I was like, "Are you kidding me? This
is legal hemp?"
Yes, like this is like if I was in my car, I'd be going to jail until they tested it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was incredible.
And that's some of the bud I've seen that you guys, that some of the genetics you guys, have and sell is just beautiful. I mean, it's really good looking cannabis, and it's low or no THC. So I mean, it's. It falls right in line with that hemp industry, and it's a beautiful bud. And like you said, if you treat it right, you can get those higher percentages and make better quality products with those higher percentages of, all the different things.
That's what it's about, you know what I mean? You just have to, show love. And I mean, I'm looking at those videos and those, on Instagram. I mean,
they're impressive, right?
Yeah, they're very impressive. And
so I encourage everybody out there listening to go to Keto Life Supply and check out what they're doing. Even if you're not a hemp farmer and things like that. This is growing. This is, everything that's going into that, is
it's the same thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, it's.
And that's one thing I want to highlight with your nutrients as well. It's not just for hemp. This is for all plants.
Vegetables.
And this is something that, you're big and passionate about as well, Tate. And I am. I love my gardens. I miss my garden. I don't have one right now, but. Gardening and food, growing your own food, and how important, and your backyard is literally like mine used to be, my old house. It's just grow bed after grow bed of growing food, right?
Oh, man, this last year was amazing. So we're sitting there right as COVID pops off. I already had like 8 raised beds in my backyard. I turned to my son, and I'm like, hey, buddy, we got a park across the street. We got a green belt. What do you think? We grow more food for the zombie apocalypse? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And he's only 5. And like literally my son is my best friend. He's
awesome.
Amazing. And so like we're sitting there and we're 5 minutes later taking the socket set to his play set, taking it down, drawn on the whiteboard gardening plans and stuff. And now I've got 18 raised beds in my backyard, 100% automated. I can water it from anywhere in the world from my phone.
That's awesome.
And
with your nutrients.
With my nutrients. And the most beautiful thing about it was my kids developed this entirely new relationship with food. Oh. Like my son would run out, and he had this pepper that's called the Aconcagua roaster. And it's a giant, like 11-inch long, 14-inch long, lime green roasting pepper that's got like medium thick flesh and is pretty sweet, but got a little bit of a pepper like ting on it. No spice, but just a ting maybe.
Yeah.
And he runs out when he knows one's mature, which he does, which is mind-blowing in of itself. He pulls it, and he just starts chomping it down. And he goes over and picks a leaf of kale and starts chomping it down.
That's awesome.
And goes and picks a tomato and starts chomping it down. And then, like, during the summer, every Saturday and Sunday morning, it's like our ritual that we go out, we harvest our food together as a family, then we come in and we cook whatever we were able to harvest.
Sweet. See, that's
like been beautiful. A huge game changer, just paradigm shift for me personally, as well as like my kids fully understanding food and where it comes from. You know, they don't think an apple comes from the store.
Yep. That's how my daughter is.
Like, unfortunately.
That's how my daughter is. You know, she's 13 and a half now, and like I said, I don't have my gardens right now, but like you, I invested about $15,000 in my front yard, and I built huge grow beds in my previous house. I had about 2,500 square feet of grow beds in my front yard. And just to show people, you know, we live out in Arizona in the fucking desert. You shouldn't be watering your fucking lawn to have green grass. You can grow food out there. You know what I mean? So I highlighted that, and that's when I was doing my garden stores and the farmers markets and promoting growing food, you know, because, you know, there is a percentage of people that use cannabis, but everybody has to eat, and we need to promote good, healthy eating and growing your own food. So, I mean, my daughter literally would grow up just like you're saying, man. It brought back so many memories when you were saying that. I'd be outside in the front yard, you know, tending to my gardens, and my daughter would come out and ask me if she could have that piece of cauliflower that's growing right there. And I'm like, yeah, wash it off. She'd munch it down. And it just made me feel so good to know that I provided that for her, and it was good nutrition, it was healthy, organic. Nothing bad was it, you know, what was about it. And she got to watch that and know that, you know, like you said, where food comes from. And that's a lost art, and that's one thing I like to highlight, you know, with kids. I've taught a lot of kids in classes and schools gardening.
I remember.
You know, because that's important. You know, they need to know where that food comes from. It's not from fucking McDonald's, people. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, hey, I know a lot of people think a watermelon's red. You know what I mean? When it's not even, you know, a true watermelon is actually yellow.
Well, there's so many different things that you can grow. It's crazy.
It's crazy, but things are morphed, and they're, you know, they're.
You know why they're certain way in the stores? Because they're easy. Those are the easiest ones, and they're you know,
they're
a lot of them are
grown in
GMO.
bulk, and they're, you know, they're not grown for health. They're grown, for profit, and
that's why it's important. You know, there's lacks nutrients, right, Tate? I mean, most of the, you know, we'll say a lot of the food in the supermarket, you know, lacks nutrients, like true nutrients, because it's picked early.
Like your fruit should have seeds.
Yeah,
it should have seeds.
If it's not,
if it doesn't have seeds, like it's not. It's not
genetically modified.
Yeah, so you know what I mean, like.
And that's one
seedless
thing.
Grapes.
That's one thing I like about you, Tate, is, you know, how passionate you are about the organics. You know, I remember you. I remember when you came, you know, and you came on my show, and, you know, I had a fresh harvest, and you guys were very highly impressed with the buds. And you one of the questions I highly remember you asking me was this grown with synthetics, or was this grown organically, or how was this grown? Because I don't want to smoke it if it was grown with certain products. And I said, you know, I assured you it was, and, you know, you guys loved it. And, you know, one thing that I did want to highlight too is Darren. You know, Darren was with you, and that's one of your boys, and, you know,
my boy.
And he's out of Cali, you know, Empire Dispensaries and Cali Kosher. You know, he's been on the show, you know, a while back, you know, but he's blowing up too. And you guys, from 3.5 years ago, you guys both are fucking killing it, bro. And I just want to say, you know, it's awesome to watch you guys blossom and to see where you guys are at right now, man. It's pretty cool.
Dude, I really appreciate it, man. And I really think one of the main reasons is because we really stay focused on stuff other than the dollars. We care about the kids, the families of people that we work with, our direct employees. Like, I'll guarantee that all my people sitting at my table are going to eat, before I do.
That's
and
awesome.
that type of mentality has really helped us to establish a rock solid culture. Like, I've got employees that are going on 7 years now, 6 years, 5 years. I haven't had anybody leave in a long time. We've had a really high retention rate on our sales team.
Well, if you take care of your people, they take care of you, right? I mean, that's how it should be.
That's what it's all about.
That's exactly what it's about.
Not everybody can own a company. Not everybody can do certain things, you know what I mean? Or maybe they just lack the drive or maybe the opportunity. Who knows, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that they're not good people and that they don't have families of their own and they need to feed themselves and their families, and you need to take care of those people. That's one thing I've always taken care of my employees when I've had employees in the past. I made sure, like you're saying, they always got paid first.
And that's what I'm doing right now. It's something new with what I'm dealing with right now, my life. I mean, my regular job. I mean, not even my regular job. I mean, now I have a restaurant and I have,
got people to worry about.
Yeah, I got people to worry about now, and
that's it's a blessing, and it's also
blessing,
can be,
but it's very stressful. But I want these people to have opportunity, and I appreciate their hard work, because without them, we can't grow and,
that's right.
and provide the opportunity. So.
And that's one thing, Tate, I'm glad you pointed that out too, is about your employees and that you take care of them, because that's how you got to where you're at, man.
Absolutely.
You can't get there by yourself, and you need a good team to take you there. And, it's important to take care of those people as well. And more people need to be in any industry, but especially the cannabis industry, with that kind of, motto that you have, take care of people. Don't fucking screw people over. There's too many fucking snakes out there that really just see the dollars, and they're, especially now with COVID, everybody's hurting. People take advantage of everybody, all the time. So it's like, you need to take care and value your friendships. I've said this before on previous shows. You never know who the fuck you're going to meet and what that person is going to do in your life or be in your life. It could be now, tomorrow, or 10, 20 years from now. You meet people for reasons.
Yeah, like 4 years ago when I met you just randomly.
Right.
I just walked into your hydro store and was like, what up?
Yeah.
It was just another hydro store.
And here we are.
Hey, I hate to put it that way. And then all of a sudden, I found a homie that I've been chatting with for 4 years now.
That's right.
That's what it's about, is finding extensions of your family and people who think, operate, and conduct their lives in the same manner.
That's true,
like this last year, I had one of the craziest years, obviously, like we all did. 2020 was crazy. But right when COVID hit, I actually had an employee that got COVID, and he was gone for almost 3 months.
Wow.
And, he had just moved into a new apartment. He was kind of newer-ish with the company. He'd only been there for a year plus. And we had to make a hard decision. And the hard decision was, you know what? I'm not endangering this dude's life, his home, his ability to eat. It sucks that he can't work, but he didn't choose that. He's having a hard enough time as it is dealing with this COVID crap. He came back to not only a bonus, but also an extended paycheck for covering his entire leave while he was gone.
Oh,
man,
jeez.
Kudos to you, man, for doing that, because that's what's wrong with America right now, and other places too. But here, so many people have lost their fucking lives, their livelihood, their businesses, their work, because of this. And COVID can affect people in multiple different ways. You don't have to get sick to be affected by this. And like you just said, he got, he was just moved into a new place, and he could have really just devastated his whole life. And there's so many people that have been devastated by this. So, kudos to you, man.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
I commend you for that. That's awesome, bro. I'm glad you told us that.
It felt really good, honestly. I hate to be like that, but I was proud of us as a team and an organization.
You should be, man. You should be.
And, even further, I just wanted to give my wife a shout-out, because she's really the, real badass behind this whole thing. I'm the loud nerd kid that like goes and raps about growing all over the place. But my wife is the person who like really makes it happen. She's the COO of the company, and she pours her heart and soul into it too. So we're just that small family-owned business that legitimately thinks about our employees and the situations they're going through, and we put ourselves in their shoes, you know? That's what it's all about. And I think that that's one of the most beautiful things of COVID is I hope that it allows people to be human with humans again.
Right. Seriously.
No, that's so true. That is so true. I mean, you've given some, great, words of wisdom to people out there and things to kind of lead by. I mean, that's kind of how we kind of end our show. Is we kind of ask our guests to kind of give.
You already done that.
Yeah, and you nailed it on some last words of inspiration. Do you have any last little ones that you want to throw in? I mean, you said a lot of great things.
We got a couple minutes.
We got a couple minutes. So
how to find you or anything?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just
for sure. Well, I really appreciate you guys. First off, if you guys ever want good people to go and chat with and rap with in the Arizona area or anywhere in general, if you just want good people to rap with, hit up Jeremy. This dude's real.
Thanks,
He's down to earth. He's on the same page. He's a family-oriented guy, and that's what it's all about.
Yep, I agree, man, and I appreciate you saying that. You know, that's one thing I want to say about Darren as well. He's a big-time family guy, and I think it shows through in everything you do. You have to take care of your family. You're going to take care of your business. You're going to take care of your friends and your everybody around you, right?
Yeah.
And your customers. You guys care about your customers, and that's what it's all about. You know, we care about our listeners as well. So that's why we want to bring some education and from the horse's mouth, so to say. So thank you so much for coming on tonight and just blessing us with your words, man. And I really, I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see where you're going. You know, you've made it so far, man. And, we'll keep in contact. And thank you for your beautiful words, man. Thank you.
Dude, Jeremy, I really appreciate you reaching out to me today. It was awesome because it was my son's birthday. You reached out to me. We went on a little drive up to the mountains just to go do some viewing, really. And I actually got a chance to chat with you or about you with my wife.
That's awesome.
And how you're so similar to us. And bro, that's what it's all about. Everybody out there, family first, love first. None of this hate stuff gets anybody anywhere. No division gets anybody anywhere. We all got to team up, chase your dreams, chase
don't give
your
up.
ideals.
No, never.
Don't
never
give up. The second that you think you're going to give up, fucking stand up and get ready to take 20 more bullets.
That's right.
Because that's why I wore a bulletproof jacket to Indo Expo.
You did, I remember.
Awesome. Well,
thank
you, Tay.
We got to get off the line because we're coming to the end. But thank you so much, Tay, for taking the time.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Happy birthday to Tegan again.
Yeah,
and
happy birthday.
If you're out this way anytime soon, get a hold of us, man, and we'll make sure that we try to plan on going out there. So thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Keep chasing your dreams, all right?
Thank you, man. Have a good night.
Later.
Sweet. Man.
Awesome. Well, that was a great segment there.
Segment.
That was Tate, the owner of Key to Life Supply. It's a dry nutrient, organic nutrients, CBD genetics, biomass separation,
Key to
and
Life
processing.
Supply. Check them out.
That's right. So thank you to everybody that joined us tonight from Qualifier Farms, Industry Extracts, the Earl Cup, High Grade, all the winners that won the Earl Cup. You guys, great job.
Shout out to all you guys. High Grade,
definitely. Sticky Saguaro, Star Worldwide. Josh, our producer. J-Rock, thank you so much.
Thank you, Vaca. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Tanya and Don. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Take
Love you guys.
Key to Life. That was great.
A lot of great words of inspiration.
That's right.
So I
thank
hope
you to all of our listeners.
Yeah,
Anybody on Instagram, we're here every Monday night. We're the Stoned Age Podcast. Check us out.
Peace.